Well, New World Everywhere is our 5th record, but technically our first studio record. We had gotten really used to doing fairly elaborate location recordings and setting up a studio inside a space like a church or a grain silo at one point. Different kind of historical buildings and buildings that were charged with a certain kind of energy. On the 3rd record, we were supposed to record in a lighthouse, if you can believe that. And that kind of like fell through at the last minute for logistical reasons, not because it just didn't work. I'm not so sure how good it would have worked in the end anyway, but...
Did you even know what it sounded like in there? Does it sound good?
It sounded interesting.
There's a new world everywhere. There's a new wild feeling dancing in the air.
Yeah, there's always like a 50-50 chance that it's not going to work out with these location recordings because you have to worry about things like what the weather's going to be like. So, yeah, it's always pretty tricky doing location recordings. I wanted to put the project into the hands of our longtime collaborator and engineer. His name's Andy McGoffin. And when I sat down to talk to him about it, he said, you know, I'd really love to hear how you guys work in, you know, in a quote-unquote real studio, you know. And so because of him, we found the Revolution Recording Studio in Toronto. And we decided to make our first studio record.
There's a new wild feeling dancing in the air. There's a new wild everywhere.
Well, being in the recording studio was obviously a really kind of new thing for us, and it was a little bit hard to get used to certain aspects of it. Like for me, vocally, to sort of I'm used to kind of singing out into these kind of big cavernous spaces. At certain points, being in smaller sort of isolation booths was kind of a weird thing for me.
We actually recorded every song, all of us playing in isolation, which is not actually usually how bands record. I guess we did every song live and then went back and overdubbed. So I was there from the very get-go, from just getting a good drum sound, which was really cool. I mean, that was a whole month of being in the studio all day. You know, being part of every decision and every process for all of us.
When I walk into a place, I'm always kind of thinking about acoustics, and I've always have kind of the next thing in my mind, you know, and kind of you're always doing like a whistle or a clap or something just to kind of hear how it resonates in the room, you know. We were in northern Ontario, several hours north of Toronto one time, in an old curling rink. You know, and it was kind of like one of those things where you walk in there and it's just like, the vibe is just there, you know, like the acoustics are there, the vibe is there, and be great, wow, we should maybe think about recording a record here, you know, or doing something, so.
Union Station in Toronto would be cool. There's this funny thing that happens from the corners. If you whisper in one corner of Union Station, it's vast. If you whisper in one corner, you can hear on the other opposite, like the diagonal corner.
Right. Can you imagine?
That happens
It'd be
here,
crazy.
though, right?
Yeah. Can you imagine how much it would take to get that actually quiet?
I know.
Yeah, that'd be a challenge. That'd be a feat unto itself.
Yeah.